Hi, it's me again with another video. If you're new here, welcome. For those who are returning subscribers, thank you so much for always tuning in. I appreciate you guys. So in this channel, we talk about faith-based content, a little bit of lifestyle and experiences of that, of just life in general, the things I've experienced and what I've learned. So today we are going to talk about something a little bit different. Yes, we'll be spilling the tea. So if you have been watching my previous videos, you have heard me talk a lot about the things like going through hard times, being down on my luck, and just things not working out. The thing I never talked about is the hardships I went through, trying to get a job, and just how difficult it was. And actually, it's not because I didn't have the papers, or rather the experience. I could do the job, and there's so many interviews I went to that I actually passed, and I never got the job. So, in this video, I'm going to get deeper into that. In this, I don't know whether anyone has ever gone through what I have gone through, but I just want to talk about this because I want to speak to young girls who are probably trying to get a job, who are just starting out in life. They don't know what they're doing, where they are going. Everything seems just so difficult, impossible. And maybe you have gone through what I've gone through, and you have had people in a position of power, try to abuse their power, because this video is about, I want to talk about that. I remember there's one job that I went for an interview. It was somewhere on Mamlaka Road, just a little bit past Mamlaka Road. I don't remember the name of those offices, but it was an assistant job. There were two guys interviewing me. I'll never forget this job. So I went for an interview, and I had all the qualifications they wanted, and also I had the papers, because they also wanted someone who was either they have a diploma, or they are maybe in school trying to get a degree, because the job you'd work during the day and then I go to school in the evening. So I went for this interview. And I did well. Like I always say, interviews like an exam. You always know whether you nailed it or you crushed it. You just know, depending on how you answer the questions. You just know. And I aced it, and I was very good. And these guys, they told me, we'll call you. The interview was on a Thursday. Then they said that we'll call you on Monday, and then tell you about the way forward, when you should report for work. So I went home like, yeah. Anyhow, now Monday came, and one of the guys called me, and he was like, okay, I was wondering whether we can meet again and talk just a few things out before we forge our way forward. I want the job. I was like, fine, cool. This is where it got tricky. I went for the meeting. And here I'm thinking, maybe there's extra questions, or they just want to like get a feel of what kind of person I am. I didn't see this coming, honestly. Either I was naive, or I just wanted the job so badly, or anyhow. And the guy, without even batting an eye, you'd think you'd be slick about it. He straight out said, so you're qualified, you have the papers, but I was wondering whether we can have an arrangement. And he straight out asked for, to sleep with me in exchange for the job. Now, this is not the only story. I have so many others I'm going to tell you guys. And what really pissed me is, one, I really wanted the job. Like, I really wanted the job. Really. Second, this is a person who is in a position of power, because you're trying to abuse your power when you see a young girl who is trying to just make something out for themselves. and you're in a position to give them that, but you're choosing to do something horrible for them to get what they want. Anyhow, obviously I didn't. I just told him thank you, but I'll pass on the job and everything else. And I was devastated because I would rather not get the job because I'm not qualified. I just didn't get the job, like maybe you just didn't pass the interview. You can live with that, but not getting a job because someone is just a horrible human being, and this someone is someone who is in power. Also, now would be a good time to mention he was like really old, and it's one thing to be like hit on by someone who is around your age, but when someone is like really old, it's just disgusting. Like you literally, if you want to be that kind of person, you could pick women your age. What are you doing? I'm like young enough to be your daughter. What is this about? That's the first story. This video is about the stories, about the things I've gone through trying to get a job with this Nairobi. The things Nairobi has shown me. The second one, now this is probably a year or so later, or two, I don't remember. But now I was working, now I was doing, like, I had started now the job that I left, the research job where I was working, as a researcher. And now that was before I was employed permanently. I started working short projects. Like I would take like 2 weeks projects, sometimes a week, 1 week project before they employed me permanently. And so we were doing the NCBA project. This is when NIC Bank and CBA Bank were merging. We were actually the ones who did the research. We did that when they were merging. We did we interviewed people. We were talking to customers, both the CBA and NIC customers, to know how they feel about it. What is their view? Are they happy? And what do they have any problem with it? So we did this project when they were merging, when before NCBA was NCBA, and so we would be posted in different branches. And I remember I was posted in the junction, Gong Road, in the junction. There's a branch there. And so the job would be you interview customers when they are leaving. After they get to the bank, they get served. When the client now is leaving is when we actually call it exit interviews. So you would interview them, administer the questionnaires when they are leaving. And I interviewed this one old man. He was old, probably older than my dad. And my dad is quite advanced in age. I'm telling you, he was old. And he was so pleasant. He was so kind, so nice. He answered the questions. He engaged me. He was patient. It was because most clients of those kind of banks, NCBA, ABS and whatnot, they're usually in a rush, But he was just calm, patient. He had all the time in the world. Like he wasn't rushing, So take your time. So I interviewed him. He was very lovely. He was very nice, very kind, and we had such a nice conversation, And I thought, he's a nice person, So I interviewed him, and we had then after the interview we started having a conversation. He was with probably his bodyguards or something. He was a well-off man. He had some like 2 guys who were like shadowing him. They were just behind him, standing there with black suits and everything. And we had a conversation, and then he asked me like, what have I done in school? So I told him about what I have done in school. He asked me, what is this like a full-time job? I was open. I told him this like just a short project. I just work for them on and off. And I'm actually looking a job for a permanent job, because I was actually looking for a job now at that time. I'm actually looking for a permanent job. It was like, I have a real estate company, and from what I have talked with you, you can be a good fit. Please take my number, call me, and we can set something up. I was so excited because, hey, here I am. I'm looking for a permanent job. This is someone, and at that time, he looked so nice, like just a decent human being. And he was so nice. The way he talked, he was kind. I didn't even have an impression he could be a pig. Forgive my language, but seriously. So I took his number. He gave me his number. It was, please call me. Let's set something up. I was like, cool. So when the project was over, because the project we were actually just about to finish. We had like probably 3-4 days left when I met him. When the project was over, here I was. I remember, that man gave me his number, for a job. So I called him. And he told me to meet him for lunch. That was another thing that made me believe he wasn't a bad person, because usually sneaky men, they ask you to meet them for dinner. So when he asked me to meet him for lunch, I was like, he's a really decent human being. I was like, cool. So I took all my papers, I had my CV, everything, all my papers, all my testimonials, everything. I just packed everything, because in my head I was like, this is like an informal job interview. So I was excited. We met at TRM. I even dressed like formally, because I was thinking, this is a job interview, you have to be presentable. So I dressed formally, took my papers, I went through speeches in my head, that what I was going to say to convince him to hire me. I was prepared, because this is my one chance to get a permanent job. I've been trying to, it's not working out, and this is my chance. I'm not going to waste it. I was very prepared. So I got to Java at TRM. I got there before him. You don't show up. If you show up like after the person has shown up, then you are late, and you cannot give the person it's about to employ you an impression that you show up late. So I showed up on time. I sat down and I ordered an dawa. If you've been to Java, that dawa, lemon, ginger, and honey. I sat there, and then probably 10-15 minutes later, he showed up. So I'm here, I'm nervous, I'm thinking, what am I going to say? I'm just going through the speech in my head, like what I'm going to say to make this man hire me. He comes and he orders coffee. And so I reach out to my envelope to take out my documents, the CV, my certificates, everything. And then he just goes, no, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Let's get something to eat. I'm like, I'm not hungry. I'm okay. We have a conversation. So he starts asking me about my family, where I come from, how many siblings do I have, about my parents, where are they, what is it that they do, just personal questions, In my head, I'm like, yes, I'm answering them, but at the same time, I'm like, why is he asking me these things? Is this not like, this is a little bit too personal for a job interview? But hey, you want the job, you don't know how this person goes about their process of hiring, so you're like, wherever, I'll answer the questions. So I kept answering the questions. Then I told him I thought I would come with my papers because you might want to look at them. He was like, no, forget about the papers. No, don't worry, don't be in a rush. I'm like, okay, cool. Like we say, when you want something and you're desperate, you'll wait because you want it. So I waited, and he kept me asking questions, just personal questions. And I kept answering them, but I kept feeling uncomfortable because I don't know what my personal life, how many siblings I have, about my parents, where I live, how old I am. Okay, how old I am, it makes a little bit of sense. But everything else, why do you care about how many siblings I have, about my personal lives, and what I like to do on my free time? Like, it just didn't make sense, but I kept answering the questions. And then I asked him, I thought this was like an informal interview, or would there be like another sitting for an interview? He was like, I don't think that is necessary. And he asked me, so what are you doing after this? I was like, just going back to my place. And this man, oh Lord, he was so odd. Jesus, take the wheel. He was like so odd. He went like, I was thinking we can hang out some more, spend some more time together. And in that moment, it dawned on me, this is not an informal job interview. This is a date, according to him. And this man He has no shame. He is so odd. He's trying to get me to bed. And I was so another thing you see in the movies when someone sees something so disgusting and then they say like, oh my God, I'm going to be sick, and then they throw up. I used to think, what a weak stomach. That doesn't happen. How can that happen to you? You my guys, it's certain things happens because it happened to me, and for the first time I understood why people see something so disgusting and then they throw up. I used to think that how does that happen? Does your vomit live on your throat? I felt throat come into my mouth. Sorry, I felt vomit come into my mouth, and I almost threw up. That's how disgusting it was. I almost vomited. It was so disgusting to see someone so old try to get a girl who is young enough to be his daughter into bed. It was disgusting. And this was like the millionth time it was happening again. And I just couldn't take it. At this point, I snapped, I just told him, I don't want the job. Thank you, but you should be ashamed of yourself. Because if you don't want to hire me, it's okay. There's no obligation. But you cannot ask someone to trade their dignity for a job. More so, I'm assuming you have daughters my age. You probably do. From the way you look, you're old enough to have a daughter my age. How would you feel if someone your age sat across them and asked them to trade their dignity for a job? How would you feel? If you would rather tell me, I can't hire you because you're not qualified. It's okay. You don't have to hire me. But you don't even care about my papers. You just want to take me to bed and then give me the job. And then he was like, hey, there's no need to be harsh. It's funny how someone puts you in a position where you have to react, then they get mad that you are reacting. Like, my attitude is because you are a horrible human being. This is why I'm reacting this way. This is why I'm pissed. I am pissed because you're pissing me off. I didn't just wake up and decide to be pissed. You put me in this position that I am pissed. And now you want to make me feel bad for feeling bad. Some things don't make sense. I'm reacting this way because you have invoked these emotions in me. I'm not emotional. I am not rude. You're making me rude. And it was so disgusting. It was one of the most disgusting things I've ever experienced. That was the last one that ever happened to me. But before this one, around probably 2015, I was working again as a researcher. But now I did it was like a 3-month project, which paid very well. Hallelujah, thank you. And we did the project in 2 phases, We did it 2 counties. We did one county, then another county. So in the first county, we did the job and then we were done. Then we took a break, like a 1-week break. Then we proceeded to do the next county. Now, when we worked, we did Empu County and Meru County. When we did in Empu County, I would commute from home, because my home is Mbere. So I would commute from home because I didn't feel the need to sleep in a hotel when I can commute from home. So I was commuting every day. But now on the last day of the job, because we had a party, I didn't commute. So my friends and I, the people I was working with, we just booked hotels and we had a party. There was a lot of food, people drinking and all that, and then I spent the night. We each booked rooms. So during the party, the end of the project party, because with the phase 1, we call it phase 1, then phase 2. Phase 1 was Empu County, then phase 2 was Meru County. So when you finish phase 1 in Empu, when we had that party, there was only one of my friends, and because I stayed with my friend the entire time because I trusted him. I trust him. He is my friend. So he's the only person I could feel safe around because, yes, we got the job together, but we come from the same place back home. So, when we were hanging out, my friend goes to the washroom. Okay? So because him and I were on the same table, because I just wanted to be with someone I can trust. And when I'm sitting there, someone comes and taps me. And the person is like, so and so is calling you. I'm like, who? Then I look around and the waiter points at the boss, the person in charge, the director. the person in charge. So when the boss is calling you, you guys in a party, I respond because remember, we have another job coming. And also, I don't know why he is calling me. So I go to his table, I'm like, yes, sir, you sent for me. And then he's like, please sit down. No, sit down. And I was like, okay, how can I help you? He's like, I've been seeing you around, ever since the first day, because we did a training for the training was like a week. It was almost like 2 weeks actually, because it was a week and a couple of days, almost like 2 weeks. Then we did the project, then we took a break, then we did the next phase of the project. I've been seeing you around during the training, and the entire time you guys were doing the job. And I just couldn't stop staring at you. You're so beautiful. And those legs. I was like, what? Because at first when he called me, because I was working very closely with the supervisor, our supervisor, because we had like a supervisor, then the directors, the managers, and all that. I was working very closely with our supervisor, so I thought maybe he wants to send me to the supervisor at first, honestly. And it was like, and I was thinking after the party is over, we can have our own party, just the two of us. I'm sorry, what? What? Have you looked at yourself and have you looked at me? And I kid you not, if I am to guess, this man was around probably in his 60s, if not more. He was old, like odd. Like high blood pressure, diabetes old. And I'm not shaming age. I'm not. But he was odd, like very odd. And it was that thing again, the thing of throwing up. You feel just so sick to your stomach, you want to throw up. And because we were in a party and people were eating, drinking, it was merry all around, I figured this is a perfect time to make sure he knows I'm not the kind of girl that you ask those kind of things. So I gave him a piece of my mind, and I told him, if you want to say I should not do the job in this second phase, I'll be okay with that, because if you think you can hold the fact that there's another phase, another project coming over my head so that I can do whatever you want, you're another thing coming. I gave him a piece of my mind. And I left because that was now the last day. So my friend came back from the washroom and I was like, you know what? I don't want to be in this place anymore. I just want to go and just sleep. So my friend and I took a cab and we left. So we went to where we had booked our hotel room and slept. So the project was over. And then we took the 1 week break. So I kept waiting for my phone to ring to be told you are not going for the second phase to Meru County. Because now Meru, remember, because Meru is far away from where I come from, I could not commute, so you would sleep there, sleep in Meru the entire time. And I kept waiting for me to be told, you're not going. The call never came. The day came, packed my bags, went to Meru. I kept thinking if I cross paths with him, he's going to tell me to leave. When we first crossed path, after we got to Meru, because we didn't cross path up until probably the 4th, 5th day being there. The minute he saw me, he was so embarrassed, he couldn't look at me. So he didn't say anything. So 2 days later, we crossed path again. And he apologized. He was, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you're not that kind of girl. So many women are like that. I didn't know that kind of a woman. I apologize. I'm so sorry. I was like, cool. Just never do it again. And it was over. Anyway. Those are just few examples because I have so many more examples of when when I go to try get a job and someone asks you to sleep with them in exchange for the job. And it's very demeaning. It's demeaning to women. It's demoralizing. It's insulting, because you are saying that I am not good for anything other than just to be used as an object. That is very insulting to a woman. to my dignity, to my morals, to everything I stand for. Because if you don't want to hire me, it's okay. I think this is the part men never understand. It's okay if you don't want to hire me. It's fine, don't. But don't ask me to trade my body for the job. That's just insulting. And I also want to speak to young girls who are out there. You're probably trying to get a job, and someone try to put this kind of a thing on you. Please don't give it. I did by the way struggle a lot, because of every time you'd go try to get a job, you pass the interview, then someone asks you to, sleep with them for the job. So many times I can't even. Those are just 3 examples that they were the most daunting, because most men, they are slick about it. They try to be slick. But these ones, they will just say it to my face. No shame. They don't even try to pretend, just to your face. There are those who try to be slick. But these ones, they were the most disgusting I've ever experienced. They are all disgusting, but this one, they just topped the list. As a young girl, please, don't do it. Don't do it. Even if you get a job like that, you will not be proud of that job. Number 1. Second, your dignity should never ever have a price, because when you sell it, then you don't have it anymore. Don't sell your dignity. Don't sell your morals. Your self-respect, your self-worth. If this is what it takes, then keep looking. I'm telling you, God will put you where He wants you to be. He's going to put you exactly where He wants you to be, because that's just how God works. Yes, you're going to go through hardships, you're going to struggle, but in the end, when you look back, you'll be glad you did not trade your dignity and your self-respect, your self-worth, for a job. Because even that kind of money, it's not a kind of money you can be proud of. You cannot be proud to imagine giving your parents the money you earned, that through that. I don't think you want to do that. Also, you will not even feel proud saying, you have a job or money. You have money, or you have something, because you didn't earn it the right way. And people say money is money. No. I say not all money is good money. That's just me. Not all money is good money. Don't just take anything that you are given. Don't take any money thrown at you, because like I said before, life is very spiritual. You can do something and it will be a stumbling block for the rest of your life. That kind of thing, it can ruin you in so many ways. You cannot. You know why people say sex is spiritual? It is. You can do something like that with someone, and I'm telling you, your life just, nothing seems to, all of a sudden you start getting sick. You have problems like left and center. Things just seem to crumble and crumble and crumble. Sometimes those things are spiritual, And if someone puts you in that position, stand your ground. And it's okay. You don't have to get that job. What's for you, it's for you. I did get jobs without having to do that. The jobs I've done. And I moved on to start my freelance career. Eventually, God did put me where He wanted me to be. Give me a minute. I need some water. Eventually, God put me exactly where He wanted me to be. I did eventually start my career as a freelancer, which I love. I love working for myself. And I'm so glad I never had to stoop that low. I didn't lose myself for a job. And it was difficult, especially when you're looking for a job and you're struggling so much, and someone does this to you. Well, if you're not strong in your convictions as a person, you might stumble and fall, because you need money, you need to pay your bills, you need to eat, you need to take care of yourself. You probably have parents who need money from you. And when someone takes that opportunity to take advantage of you, it's like they're putting a string on your neck, like a dog collar on your neck, and they keep pulling it. And the only way, they tell you, if you want me to stop pulling it, then do what I want. It feels like that because you're choking from all the things you're going through, and someone is trying to take advantage of your situation, by pulling the string they have. What is the string? The string is the job that you want, and they try to do this to you because they have the power, and you're in a vulnerable position because you want the job. But I'm begging you, young girls, don't stand your ground. I promise you to be worth it. You look back and you'll be so proud of yourself that you never had to do that. Stand your ground, stand in what you believe in, stand in your own personal convictions, and especially in a world where everyone else is doing that and you seem like you are not alone. You're not alone. We have people who stand their ground. I did. Stand your ground and do the right thing. It will pay in the end. In the moment, it might not feel like it, but eventually it will pay. I promise you, it will pay, So anyway, I just wanted to speak to someone out there who was probably either going through this or is going through this, and speak to my younger sisters. Please, stick to your morals, to your dignity. Your self-worth is worth something. I know the society we live in today, it seems like self-worth means nothing. Your self-worth means something. It is something, and it's important. Hold on to it. Things will fall into place. And when you hold on to God, He'll put you where He wants you to be. He'll bless you, actually, because you choose to do the right thing. Anyway, that's the end of this video. I'm going to put an end to it here. I'll be back with another video, so stick around. Please don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, invite your friends, and hit the notification bell so that the next time I have another episode, another tea, you'll be the first one to watch, So thank you so much, guys. Please take care of yourself and be blessed. Ciao.